My name's Jamie. I work for Unite the Union and I am a dyslexic. I work as the community coordinator for Unite the Union across Scotland. So the type of things I do day to day is working with people in the communities, and that's a range of things, collectivising around issues or working direct with people to help them into employment. How I became community coordinator was volunteering for the union, becoming a rep, getting active within my workplace, going along to meetings, etc. And then from there, having a real interest in trade unions and wanting to work for them. So I ended up, becoming more involved, becoming more active, and being at everything and anything that I could be at. Dyslexia has been a part of my career journey through getting involved with Dyslexia Scotland. I have to really say that the confidence that I got from being involved and then learning not the negatives but the positives that dyslexia had, and then homing in on that and becoming more aware of what my downfalls were and what I was really good at, and focusing on what I was really good at and turning things that I was struggling at into things that I could cope with. The challenges that are turned into positives are it takes me a wee bit longer to get my head around some situations. So I deal a lot with things that aren't black and white in regards to what is the issue and how do we resolve it. So dyslexia gives me the ability to look at it from different aspects and think about outcomes that would come from the way that I'm dealing with that procedure. So yes, it's a hindrance having dyslexia when it comes to reading and writing and correspondence, but the ability to be able to take a step back, imagine what outcomes are going to come from each and every way of wording an email or each and every way of a process, gives me the ability to really tackle what would be coming next. My favourite thing about my job is meeting people. I'm really interested in people and how they react and how you can change people's minds through the art of persuasion, to put it bluntly. The least favourite is reports, is having to document what I'm doing and having to really go into depth and detail on that. I think it's an important part, and it is a part that you do then understand what you're doing better, but it still is an absolute hindrance. It never goes away, the fact that you've got to sit down and type out what you have done rather than just tell them verbally. Within my workplace, we have software that enables me to speak to the computer and for it to be typed up. I do get a lot of help of my colleagues. I'm known as dyslexic within my workplace, so that is a two-way street where I'm helping my colleagues with cases that are related to dyslexia, and also they know that I just need that wee bit help to get through my day-to-day. My career highlights have been from being a shop steward within a workplace. I won the Trade Union Congress Young Worker of the Year Award in 2013, and then I won the Scottish Trade Union Congress Award in 2014. So that was a great boost to my confidence and my abilities to what I'm able to do within my role and my job. Also being involved in many election campaigns and turning that around from always losing to now winning. So that's been my career highlights. The advice that I would give to my younger self is not to be hard on myself and understand. I wish that I'd learned what dyslexia means in a positive light. a long time ago. I grew up knowing that I was dyslexic. I was lucky in terms of the age that I was. I was around 6 or 7 years old when I was diagnosed, but I never knew what dyslexia meant, and I wish that I did at the time. The bitterness that you grow up with, the thinking that the teachers are against you and the world is against you, I wish that I'd offloaded that a long time ago. Who inspires me? I've got a wide range of inspirations. My sister calls me Mr. Ben, where I take off one hat and put on another hat and take on that persona. So I have a wide range of inspirations, from musicians to politicians, and I've always looked at the inspirations. But I think you need to look closer at home in your inspirations, and my inspirations are my family. My brother and my sister have gave me massive help. My brother's dyslexic, and I see what he's able to do with his hands with building things, and my sister's always been there to help me when I've been struggling with application forms, which is a struggle. And I think it's just my older colleagues who take the time to really sit me down and explain things, and they're never shy with giving me answers. They always want to give some sort of help. The message that I would give to young dyslexic people in Scotland is dyslexia never goes away. You need to learn to live with it and use it to your advantage. You'll have skills and abilities and things that other people won't be able to do, and it's about homing in on these skills. Also, if you're joining the workforce, I would say join a trade union, because there will be times when you need help in employment issues with dyslexia, and that is getting help and getting help that you need and getting the information that you need to help you within your workplace. So growing up with dyslexia, I was really, my confidence came from my art. I was able to draw really well within school, and I really enjoyed the admiration that I got from that. And I've always continued to do that. I wanted to be a cartoon artist growing up, and I wanted to go to art school. Now, I never had the opportunity to do that, but that doesn't mean that I've not used my abilities to draw to enter into the workplace and use that as part of my role. So I've been a published cartoonist now, and I do a lot of poster designs within my job for events coming up. And that gives me the breathing space and the kind of confidence to do what I'm not good at a lot better. So having the confidence to know how to design something, how to lay it out, also gives me the breathing space to think about what it is that I'm doing and how I could do it that bit better. Idle thinking is what I like to call it, where you're not pressurising yourself into getting the answers that you need straight away. You're giving yourself that breathing room to think it out, to work on it and to make it better. So I've been really inspired that I've been able to bring art and illustrations within my role within Unite. I think the problems that arise within the workplace, and especially when you're applying for jobs, is you can often talk yourself out of applying for that job because of your dyslexia. But there's no job that you're going to go into that you're 100% not going to need to read, write, know dates and find places. So it's about having the confidence within you that you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to go that extra bit to home in your skills to do that job better. The issues that I deal with dyslexia is people coming up against management that don't know what dyslexia is. And it's about changing that narrative that dyslexia is not 100% seen as a disability or something that takes away from a workplace role but adds to a workplace role. Because dyslexia, the way that dyslexic people think, outweighs their abilities to read and write. And a lot of people can read or write, but what dyslexia adds to the workforce is very special.